Hello.
Hi, this is Eric Koester.
How's it going, Eric?
It's good. First off, I apologize for being a few minutes later. I had to go run pick up a kid early from school, so I apologize if I'm a little late. Is now still okay?
No, you're good.
Perfect, perfect. Well, thank you, and yeah, excited to chat. Thanks again for making some time here. Yeah, took a look at everything you shared. Looks like some fun stuff to potentially tackle together. I guess maybe before we go too far, I'd love to hear a bit more about you and kind of where your head's at on this book adventure, and happy to share a bit more about this author community and see if there's anything fun to do together.
Dang, I don't know where to start, dude.
Just start. I mean, usually that's a good place to start, and we'll see where it goes.
So like a lot has happened to me, and yeah, it's hard to really talk about it, but I'm pretty much being tortured and pushed out of the province. Um, I've been wrongfully terminated over and over again, and with everything that's happened the last couple of years, it's really drawn some light, especially when I was 30, once I found out what my parents have been doing behind my back through beautiful women that I've met throughout my life. They've kind of told me like what's happening. And yeah, it's pretty much my father's been going around behind my back and like slandering me. And and I'm pretty sure police are involved because years ago a judge, when my father hit my mom, and he admitted like hitting my mom in court, and I was actually in jail for 5 days. I didn't know how to get out. Some nice people in jail actually told me like to work around like the system. If there's not like a priest or anything that can get you out, or if you don't have a lawyer, there's like a bail program. So I got out on the bail program, and I had a bunch of like marks on the palm of my hand and stuff from my father like hitting me as well. But since I didn't tell the ambulance driver because I was too like manly about it, be like, oh, nothing's wrong. Well, it turns out that anyways, I don't have any charges or nothing like that. Everything got dropped because my dad admitted to hitting my mom, and I was protecting my mom, and it just was all just nonsense. From when I moved out to Alberta, I had to move back, and I used to be like really really close with my father, and he's just steered me in the wrong direction. I've had so many good jobs. When I was 18, I had a full apprenticeship with Molson Brewery. My dad told me to leave it, open up a business, working for him. Turned out he was taking half the money and setting up like contract rates that were half as much, and him pocketing the money. Which then, when I moved back from Alberta and after the court thing, I'm kind of jumping like years, like back and forth here, but I ended up working for back to hauling fuel in Toronto and working and parking the same yard. But this was after I won the court case, and my father and I weren't talking, and I ended up opening up another small business myself instead of using like his resources and his contacts and stuff like that. Just did all by hand. It cost me like nothing. Just went downtown, did all myself, and I was making twice as much when I was working for him. And just lying and stealing, like literally, like he had like a small business like stealing fuel, and just so much in that environment, turning high school friends, elementary school friends into drug dealers. Finding out when I left, like when I started, like when I left the province from, I was born in Ontario, and when I moved back, and seeing how other things are and stuff like that, I found out that my mom's a drug dealer, and that they've been moving around like to different neighborhoods, but there's multiple local 81 like people in the neighborhood, and they're all like working together in like threes. And when they bought like a new house, there's like a construction person that was like down the road from like three houses down, that my dad knew, that used to haul fuel with my father and I, who then was in the construction business. And when I couldn't like catch a break hauling fuel, not knowing back then when I was in, because I started hauling fuel when I was 19 or 18, and that guy is in the construction business. And when one of my first jobs when I was pipe fitting for local, like UA local 853, and I wasn't union at first. Again, like just job after job, things weren't going right. People treating me differently. I was able to like just get into the union, just like knocking on doors and talking to people. And one of my first jobs in Markham, one of the duck guys, he is that guy who knows my father, and a hammer fell from the rooftop of that building and almost hit me like a couple inches from me, landing on the ground. I was on the ground floor coming back from break. Someone dropped a hammer from the roof. And after that, when I was in Alberta, I found out through my dispatcher when I got a German crane ticket out there. I already had my class 1. And anytime I'm like saving money or trying to get ahead, this and that, like my father would swoop in, like kind of like stir things up. Things just wouldn't go right. And then when I was operating crane, I became a junior crane operator, and one of my first jobs I started running by myself. One of these, like everywhere I go, like there's like a new person that like shows up, and all of a sudden they're tied to local 81. And when I was operating crane, this one guy Jamie, I was driving the crane unit. We set it up, we left it, we went back to the hotel. He was driving a Ford F350. I was in the passenger seat. He ended up totaling that vehicle and hitting another F350 in the passenger side, so both passenger sides collided. They had like a moose bar in the front of these diesel pickups, and I was in the passenger side. Luckily, not a scratch on me. Like the window, like I couldn't open the door, the window blew out and everything like that. So that's like pretty much like me trying to like, I don't know, trying to harm me. So like that happened. That company ended up going bankrupt. And I think it has something to do with that, like the lawsuits and stuff like that. But I wasn't kept in the loop. I never filed nothing. Never, like, no complaints, no injury, nothing. Just kept on moving on. Just get another job. Keep on moving forward. But I was really good friends with my dispatcher there, Mark, and we would go and have like brunch at Brown Social and go watch movies and stuff. Like he was a really good guy. He ended up telling me. He's like, you know, your father called, right? I'm like, why would my father call my work? Like I'm 30, like what? And that's when I kind of started like this is when I was like 27, 28. I started realizing like what's going on here. And then just started dating outside of like my hometown and stuff, and people tell me things, and people were just, it all just kept on adding up. So now here I got a job at Coca-Cola. Never talked about nothing in the past. Just kept my head up. Just let my driving speak for myself. The number 1 driver was born in 1986, the same year as me. The number 2 driver was also born in 86, and they were best friends and they went to high school together. I'm like, wow. And I tried to get into Coca-Cola. I was wrongfully terminated when I was working over at Pepsi in Saskatchewan. I'm like, fuck it, I'll just move to freaking Saskatoon in the middle of nowhere and see how this goes. And the same thing kept on happening. So I've been trying to get on Coca-Cola at multiple different provinces, but it's really hard to get in there. But there's a spot here in Victoria. Beautiful Victoria. Sorry, I don't talk very much. I'm really nervous also as well talking about this.
Well, let me jump in here a little bit. So I guess couple questions for you. So it sounds like a lot has gone on.
No, I'm barely scratching the surface right now, dude. There's so much.
I can tell. Well, so let me ask about how you want to think about the book too, because I meet people like yourself all the time who have really powerful stories and experiences and things. And the big thing I would say about our community here, and I'm very fortunate, right? We've had, I've had 2,000 authors in this community and 300 National Book Award winners and finalists. And the big thing I would tell you along the way is that we don't actually launch books. What we launch is authors. And the reason that really matters is, as you'll see, books are very, very powerful, but frankly, there's not a very good business model for us as authors. It's a lot of work to sell this $15 product for $2 or $3. So we focus a lot on how we can help authors leverage the book for what they really want. Like, most authors in our community, they want to use the book to get on more stages and more talks.
Use the book as an asset.
They want to use the book to get more... What's that?
Use the book as an asset.
Yep, exactly. That's what they want to do. So what are you looking to do for it then?
Well, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was listening to your hour and a half like video and stuff, and you said that people, like, there's not much money. That's kind of what you were saying, right? And like the whole book thing, but it's how you can use the book as an asset and open up like the whole like portal, right?
Yep.
And
Yeah,
then
exactly right. So what do you want then from that one?
I don't know, man. I never really thought about this until you reached out. Really, I've just been trying to. I really started using YouTube and Twitter. Like this Twitter account I opened up in 2019, and I was only uploading just evidence on like what was happening as like a daily journal, bro. I'm like, because storage is so expensive, and I'm like, well, how can I prove like what's happening to me, right? And there's some crazy shit that I'm not even talking about like quite yet, right? But like, so I'm just like a book would help, I guess. Like it would make my whole situation more credible. Um, I have a lot of really hard evidence, and the police just want me to pretty much right now get out of the province. They took away my class 1 license for BC. But before that happened, I went to Alberta and I transferred my license over. So I have a valid Canadian class 1 Alberta license. But now the police are just messaging me that and like saying, hey, you need to leave. I'm having like the stalker like threaten me to have like my hand and foot cut off and tell you need to like leave Alberta or leave BC. Like what will it take? And I'm just kind of just hanging in tight. I'm like trapping myself in the backseat of my car. I don't really like know what to do. I don't have like an education really. I just like I have my diploma, but um, I don't know, man. I'm not really like the smartest grade guy. Like I know like you're a professor. Like you can like you're way smarter than me. I don't really know how to go about it.
Well, I mean, so I would say it this way: it's less about so the execution part. So first off, if your goal is to basically use I mean, I'm not totally sure I would write a book as a way to get more evidence for your case. I guess usually people write a book as something to help other people. So if you wanted to turn the book into a coaching program you want to do, or do paid speaking or something like that, that's where it would make sense. But I mean, candidly, based on what you shared here behind, it sounds like you just got a bunch of shit that like you got to navigate through before you want to be more public with your story and your life. If I'm just hearing you as what you shared.
Well, on June 6th, I have like the police have like done everything, you name it, they've done it. I've reported like mobbing and gang stalking and bioweapon attacks. They locked me in the psych ward for 4 days. Then they kicked me out. I gave them my Twitter. I was honest about everything. They forced me medication the first day, and by the second day they stopped. And the nurses, and two of the psych doctors there, they just kicked me out. They said that they don't want me back there. I've had field sobriety tests, a 30-minute field sobriety test that was done by some other random person, me woken up in the backseat of my car, half asleep.
So first of all, I guess I want to get back to the heart of this. So understand, I'm just trying to play back to you of like how you want to see a book play out, or if you want to. I mean, again, I want to make sure that I understand what you want out of it. Right?
Well, right now I've proven the police are involved with corruption and that they're attacking me, and I have a lot of evidence of this. So, you know, people are online, and it's all over social media that there's like homeless problem, there's like an addiction problem, there's like depression, and people are putting blame on vulnerable people, but when they were born as a baby, I'm sure they didn't freaking wake up and be like, oh, I don't want to feel anything and I just want to use and do drugs. So humans have this bad habit of blaming others, but really, is it your environment? Is it orchestrated? Like gang stalking, no one talks enough about gang stalking, or like mobbing, which is bullying in plural. Like there's many groups, and like during COVID, I know in like Saskatchewan, like Manitoba, the government cracked down on like Catholics and Christians. Well, why? They didn't like the RCMP were like there. Like, does the government know something that we don't? Like, look what's happening to me. I have proof that professionals, teachers, who's involved with working with police, that she's like she can change someone's life. And just by her knowing me and knowing that there was nothing wrong with me, she admitted that her son was being gassed, bullied, her mortgage was about to fall through. I have hours of conversations because I figured something was up, and that was just a 60-second clip. I'm not sure if you listened to it. So, like, our police and like people that are part of like religious groups, are they like, you see protesting? Well, who's funding that protesting? Like, is this bigger than what we know? Like, that person's homeless and hooked on fentanyl. Well, why was he bullied and pushed to that? And how long? How long has this been going on? Are people being paid to hunt other humans? Because that's what it is. Like, is this a side gig? When like men are at work, you have retired, disabled, retired veterans, seniors. Are they working together using cool tech, cell phones and Bluetooth headsets? Are they stalking and mobbing other people? So I think my story could help others. Like, this is some serious shit. And I mean, like, what can the police even do about it? Like, right? Like, it's just easier for them to just sweep up one person. Enough people cry. Like, you have 100 people. It's like, oh, fuck this guy, right? And it's like, okay, well, then the police work for the people, right? And if said group is like working together to get rid of people, because I've had Jehovah's Witness in Ontario like try to get me to like recruit when I was pipe fitting, and then when I didn't join, they bullied me out when I was pipe fitting in Peterborough. Here I've had like the Bible like thrown them like, hey, like join up. Like, I've had the mayor of Esquimalt like send her like lackeys to like tell me to go to church, and I don't go to church, and now look what's happening to me. So many of these stories. And when I was in Alberta, like same like Christian group, like the girl, one of like the Alberta girl there, she was like a Christian, and like she told me some things that, and she kind of opened my eyes to what was happening behind my back. And also like they're like, I don't know, there's just a lot.
Let me jump in. So that's all good. So I mean, I unfortunately have to hop here in just a couple minutes here, but I want to share a couple thoughts. So here's the thing. I mean, the first thing I was going to tell you is I think you just got to get your story out, right, and get it down. So have you done much writing on this yet, or is it mostly still just experiences that you're starting to like capture, in ideas and videos, stuff like that?
I've just been uploading in like Google Notes, just writing on there and uploading it on Twitter, and then just like making videos and trying. Yeah, I haven't really tried to like write a book, bro.
I wouldn't try to write a book yet. I would just try to write content and start to get it down, and then start to figure out how it fits together. Because I think the challenge of what you've got here is there's just so much.
I know.
So I would start to write it, number one, and then start to figure out like how do you piece it together into something that A, tells the story, but B, helps other people. Because then I think once you have some content down, I'm happy to have our publishing team take a look at it for you and see if we can help you like morph it into something that could be that book. But I think you got to get everything out first, and then see where it goes from there to see if we can kind of piece this into something.
Well, my final last piece of evidence is in June 6th, when I have to go to court for like harassment, and once that gets dropped, I feel like my whole story will like come together, because I feel that that's kind of the thing that there is so much, and that's one of the tactics on mobbers and local 81 and police. They're just shitting on me so much right now, stressing me out, where it's like, well, what is he going to do? And I'm literally I had someone last week message me, which it seemed like it was a cop, like, well, what's your plan? We got to get a plan for you. I'm like, who is this random person? Like, it said like motorcycle enthusiast, made in May 2024. So it's like these people are trying to control my life and stress and just shit and slander. So okay, so like how do I organize this, bro? Like, I've just been trying, like, there's like, it's kind of been dying down like now, but like how
I wouldn't try to organize. I would just try to capture. I think by just try to capture it. Write small things. My advice to you is try to start by writing notes. Get like 250 to 300 words about something. Then see if you can morph that into a story that tells about a moment, something specific that happened. And then once you have about 30 to 40 of these moments captured, at that point, start to see how they fit together. But I would tell you build a manuscript, not write it. So just start writing small pieces, build it up into larger pieces, and then see how they fit together, and that's how you write a book.
Okay. And then would I then reach out to you then? Be like, hey, send you those?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, reach out to me once you get closer to something, and then let's talk about where we go from there.
All right, Eric. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
You bet, man. We'll talk soon.
Later, dude. Oh, gosh.